What's up guys, it's TheHunterProject here, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be going over my top 5 worst monsters in the Monster Hunter series. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to smash the like and subscribe buttons, it's extremely appreciated and helps out the channel a ton. But without wasting any more time, let's jump right into the video. So of course with this list, it is my personal list, so some of these worst monsters may be someone's favourite, so don't take it personal, it's just from my experience. This is my top 5 monster list for the worst monsters in the series, and of course be sure to drop your list down below. But starting off with my list, up first we have Plessy Off coming in at the number 5 position. So this includes its green subspecies, as I think they are quite similar, with the green just being a little bit more annoying. But I've put it at the top of the list because although it is extremely hated amongst the mass majority of the community, and I do have my fair share of just painful experiences with it, I think it has kind of become a meme and a bandwagon in a sense, and it's a bit like overrated in a sense to call it the worst monster in the series, as whilst it can be very annoying at times to fight, I think the monster itself does have a pretty cool design. I do love the intention of the design that they went for, and hopefully they can bring it back and brush up on its moveset and hitboxes accordingly, and then I think it would be a very enjoyable fight and a really cool monster. I think it will take a lot of time though, with a fixed enjoyable Plessy Off, to wash away the painful memories from the Plessy Offs from Freedom Unite. Coming in at number 4 we have Gobble, and I have literally never enjoyed a single quest fighting this monster. Underwater fighting itself wasn't exactly always the most enjoyable thing to start with, and then this monster's design and encounter only made it so much worse. I've never actually enjoyed fighting this monster at any stage of its quest, from finding its little antenna popping out from the ground to having to maneuver around it while underwater. I don't have much to say about this one. It just definitely isn't a monster I ever remember fondly. But I would like to mention, although the game Gobble sucks, the lore of it is pretty cool. The fact that we only have ever fought a baby Gobble and never seen a giant adult size one, so hopefully if they do ever bring it back, I hope they do brush up with how the encounter plays out, and also just make the adult Gobble shine, as of course this monster, at least for me, and I think hopefully a lot of other people will agree, this monster wasn't exactly the best implementation to a Monster Hunter game. Coming in at number 3 we have Laoshan Lung, and while I do enjoy the idea and concept of this monster, I think Lao got quite boring very quickly, especially after maybe 2, 3, 4 times fighting it. This encounter is literally a walking garbage truck that walks to a fortress and then it just hammers on the wall for a bit, and then it either dies or it leaves, and of course when it leaves you either repelled it or you didn't do enough damage to it and it's broken through and you fail the quest. There isn't much to this encounter, and aesthetically it isn't the best stage either. I have left out the Morans and Cedeus off the list due to them having some aspects that I find appealing. Like the Morans, I love the desert setting and how you're on the boat going at a really high speed, and then Cedeus has a really unique atmosphere. I still love it to this day, and its soundtrack is amazing. And yeah, just definitely let me know down below guys what you think the worst siege encounter is in Monster Hunter of all time. There is one more on this list that I find worse than this, but you'll see that later. But don't get me wrong, Laoshan is definitely an extremely cool concept, like I said at the beginning. I do love the idea of having a massive Elder Dragon beast that's start charging towards the village and you have to quickly deter it. And as well as its backstory as well, I do like the idea of it running away from a Fatalis, at least it's implied it is, so yeah. But with that we move on to our number 2 spot, Koshala Deora, and it's probably no surprise to a lot of you. The world version, especially of this monster, I think single-handedly carried this Elder Dragon to the top of this list due to how annoying they made it with its wind mechanics. I think it is a pretty cool Elder Dragon, it does have a decent armor set and weapon set, but World went overboard with its encounter, which I think Rise did a good job in rebalancing. Similar to the memories of Plessy Off, I don't think anything can erase the painful memories of being trapped by 200 unfair Koshala storms, only to be pushed away from the actual monster when I managed to make my way to its filthy physical being. But I don't think I have to say much for this monster. It is a very cool monster, don't get me wrong. Like, I think in 4 Ultimate it was very enjoyable to fight. In Generations it was relatively enjoyable to fight as well. Rise as well did an awesome job with it. I was really pleased with Rise's version of the encounter. But yeah guys, that does bring us on to our honourable mentions, or I should say mention, before we move on to our number 1 spot. And that one honourable mention is Vespoid. I don't have a lot to say about this one, but it can be very annoying when Vespoid, like little monsters that are able to paralyze you, when you're sharpening a weapon and they come over to you. That is absolutely the worst thing ever, and it's just annoying. And this includes the little bugs, I forgot what they're called, I think they're called Alteroth. They are also included on this honourable mention, as it's just these little monsters that can just do these little things that make the most impact to your hunt, like when they poison you, giving the monster you're actually fighting a free shot at you. And of course I think only Blade Masters can actually relate to this, as Gunners probably never run into this issue, as you're usually probably on the move unless you're reloading or something, but it's definitely worth a mention on this list. But with that, we have our final monster on the list, and way at the top of my most hated and just most annoying worst monsters in the series, and that is Zora Magdaros. Not only does its design just remind me of a much more boring and way less appealing Gogmazios, its encounter was just the most boring encounter in any video game I've ever played, especially considering it was supposed to be a final boss to an important segment of your journey, and that being low rank, transitioning you into high rank. I just have no good memories of this monster. Of course, at first it was pretty cool, similar to Lao, like you're fighting a massive monster, you're having to get on its back, and then you're having to do certain objectives to get through the fight. First time through it was pretty cool, but the second time it was just boring, especially if you were trying to farm for its armor, and it did have some pretty good armor, but I think for Gunners it had a pretty a good skill set to its armor. And I just remember completing the objectives while on its back and just waiting for 5 minutes or so to just get to the next area of the quest. And it literally gives you a bathroom break during the quest to go de-stress from how poorly they made this monster's encounter. And of course this doesn't take away from the Monster Hunter's team's ability to create awesome monsters, as the majority of the monsters in the franchise are extremely well made and have just very cool designs, good movesets and so on, but Zora was just something else. But with that said guys, that does bring us to the end of this video. If you did enjoy, be sure to smash the like and subscribe buttons, it's extremely appreciated, it helps out the channel a ton. I hope I didn't annoy or insult too many of you guys, as of course this is a personal list from my own experience of these monsters, so definitely let me know down below with what your top 5 worst monsters are from the Monster Hunter franchise, and I look forward to reading all your lists. And don't forget to join our Discord, links at the top of the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.